Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to On Loose Lines tonight. Want to thank everyone for joining me. If you do join me, totally understand if people don't wish to join me as well. Please get involved in the show. Anyone who's been a regular on the show knows how it works via the comment section. It's been a very, very trying week for a lot of people in harness racing. I hummed and hawed as to whether to do a show tonight or not. I don't do this show to reinvent, I suppose, harness racing. I do it because I love the sport. And I love trying to make a difference. And, sometimes it gets very, very hard. And this has been a very, very trying week with the passing of Greg Sugars, a great horseman, a great trainer, great driver, unique talent, taken way too soon. And I would like to pass my condolences on to the Sugars family, Ross, Kerry, and Kylie, to Jess, her mum Kate, and everyone else in those immediate families. There's so many people affected by this. I think it's unbelievable. There's been a lot of feedback from so many participants and so many people in the industry reaching out to each other, and I think that's one of the great things that we can do, and I think we need to continue to do it, is to stay in touch with people and make sure that we get around the people that in this industry, make sure our other people are being looked after, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. It is a tough show. Campbell's Comment's been going for about 5 years, maybe 6 years, I'm not sure. And sometimes I come up with some hair-raising ideas. Sometimes I come up with some good ideas. I don't know. I do it randomly. But the man on the picture there, Greg Sugars, never said no to anything I'd like to do. It's almost the way he did harness racing. He would honestly challenge himself, I think, sometimes to do different things. So quite often ask for an interview, talk. He could be flat out. He never said no. He could be getting a horse like Just Believe ready or a 2-year-old having its first start. It didn't make any difference at all to Greg. He would get involved and want to be a part of, I suppose, promoting and growing this sport, and he's going to be a huge loss. He's also a great person. From a harness point of view, he was awesome. But outside of that, he was just he was an awesome person. I shared a video. It's only a very small grab, and unfortunately I wish I had took more of it now. But Jess and Greg and Lara J had a Christmas party a few years ago, 2 years ago I think it was, from their new property. And Greg invited myself, Marie and Holly along to it, which was incredibly humbling in its own sense, if you like, to be invited to their house purely through what we do. He'd driven a few winners for us over the journey. But yeah, to go there on that occasion and just to see a different side to him, and a gentleman that has so much fun and wants to be a part of so much of the industry. He, unfortunately, has been taken seriously way too soon. And yeah, very, very tragic for the entire industry. But I encourage anyone out there who is struggling, unsure. I know Harness Racing New Zealand, Brad Steele, they've put a post out, and I'll try and find that in a minute. I just want to check on see who is actually watching. And they put out a post about it to get in touch, but also just reach out. If you're not sure who to reach out to, Charlene Gusman, Robbie Nugent, there's quite a few other people. Rob's from South Australia. If you're not sure who to talk to your friends and ask them and get in touch with them, because it is challenging everywhere. I think the most common bit of feedback that I've heard is numb, and I think that describes so many people in this industry as the passing of, as I said, a great horseman, a great harness racing trainer, great harness racing driver. Very rarely put a foot wrong as a driver in that, but I think as well, a young man, he's 12 years younger than me, had the world at his feet, just put an emotional post up the other day saying about wanting to spend this year for themselves. They devoted so much to Just Believe. Harry, they've done an awesome job with it, and I think they need to be congratulated for that. But it just seems sad, wrong, hard to fathom. There's been some amazing tributes. I do know that some people may or may not have enjoyed the meeting being cancelled the other night, but I do know that certain family members were blown away by it. In my recollection, I don't know it's ever happened before. and I think, anyone wondering whether it was a good idea or not, I know the feedback that I've had, it was an outstanding idea. So well done to those guys. Keep involved with Harness Racing Victoria with their updates as well. There is a few things in the pipeworks, hopefully. There'll be plenty more tributes to this great man that has unfortunately left us very, very quickly. I am going very soon. Sorry, too soon, far too soon. I'm going to play a video that Harness Racing Victoria did over the weekend. Craig and Tim O'Connor and a few other guys got this put together. I'm going to play this video and I will come back. But please, if you have any words at all to say about the great man, please feel free to put them in the comment section there. I will check the Twitter feed and also the Facebook feed as well.
So Just Believe dives and got him. Greg Sugars has done it again. Just Believe, the favourite hit the front. Just Believe, he's going to win another big one. Just Believe and Greg Sugars are one. The outside, it's Beaujolais. Magina put her head in front, and she's going to do what she always does. She wins. She's a winner. Magina does it again. What a top filly. Better Eclipse out after Bondi lockdown, 75 to go. Better Eclipse moves up, puts the head in front, starts to come away, and the Chariots is all over. And Triple Eight's going on to win it well from Better Be the Bomb. Torrance ain't third, so heading fourth.
But the pride of Australia, now a legend of our sports. Just Believe wins the Dominion by 2.5 lengths from Mighty Logan. Third across Oscar Monolita, then RC Phoenix and one overall. Midnight Dash
That's beautifully done. Unfortunately, I dropped it just one little bit short. We just said about his birth date, of course, 40 years young today. So, just taken way too soon in anyone's minds. And his passing has affected so many people. So, as I said, please, if you're having any troubles at all, reach out. Don't be too scared to ask a mate. Ask anyone. There's plenty of people out there that you'll be able to ask and get in and involved. That feeling of grief, Dot G, great video, brings tears to your eyes. It does, Dot. He's done so many things, it's not funny. The feeling of grief I have felt since hearing the terrible news and the feeling I've had when losing a family member previously. The world is a much poorer place now. Well said, Brad. And it is a much poorer place. He's a friend to so many people. He's going to be remembered for the green and red hearts, that's for sure. Kelly Stuart Mitchell shared there before, but Pat Burke there mentioned Paddy's a great bloke. He's a mate of mine, very passionate person, loves the industry, and rang me in tears the other day. Now, a lot of you guys won't know Pat at all. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that, he rang me in tears when he found out and wanted it not to be true. I think like so many people, and these are the people that he's affected. So he's a harness tragic, Paddy. He would probably love to not be a harness tragic sometimes, like so many of us. But he affected so many people. Pat was saying that he never would not say g'day to him. He'd come up and have a chat to him. He drove a couple of horses for us at Pat had shares in, and just always come and said hello. And that was Greg. That beaming smile, that bit of fun. You never knew he was having a bad day. If he was, I know a couple of times he was, but you never really knew it. He was a phenomenal character. So strong-willed. And just an ornament to our industry, and just unfortunately taken way too long. Adrian Darcy, unbelievably sad. Greg wasn't a great trainer and driver. He was a better bloke. Sorry, Greg wasn't just a great, exactly. You're spot on, Darcy. And I think, Adrian Darcy, you're spot on. He was a better bloke. treated everyone with the utmost respect, promoted this great sport in such an amazing way. Both he and Jess, Lara J Farms, the entire team, and I saw a post from Craig Demler there today. I feel for these guys that work with him. Just talking to these guys, they just loved life so much. All of a sudden, loved the industry because they're working with a man that just oozed that passion. So, yeah, it's a very heavy heart. The passing of a great man. I won't be taking the picture down. I've got a couple of, I suppose, things to get through. Please continue to put your comments up there, and I will read them out. If you want some of your best memories of Greg, he drove Mac Flick for us just recently. Wasn't that long ago he won. Tell a funny story. It's what you do sometimes on these things. I'll never forget he drove Johnny McLean. Very sad. Been a good horseman since they won't. Something might have happened there to Johnny's. It's half topped out. Daniel Zibbett, going to miss the cheeky smile around the tracks. One of the greatest, taken too soon. It is indeed. Sorry, Johnny, yours has not quite worked out properly. He says, very sad, been a good horseman since they won't. So I think a couple of words got left off that, but that's okay. Johnny will fix it up. He drove Union Alley for us. I think Grant had driven her first 2 starts, and he rocked up to drive her at Ballarat. Grant couldn't drive for some reason, and Marie wasn't actually there. And I basically gave him instructions and said to him that it'll just win. As long as you're close enough, it'll just win. And he looked at it, and it was alongside Jewel Agent Tabman, and Jewel Agent Tabman was a good-sized horse, but she'd nearly fit under this. And he came back, and he's like, are you sure? And I said, yep. And he came back again, even when he got in the cart, and he goes, like, seriously, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, it's good. And it came back, and it won, and just the humblest guy. He came back, and he goes, you're right, better than me, because, yeah, he never doubted you. He questioned you in a good way. He just never doubt you. Take what you say on board and go with it. He had the best set of hands. His hands were outstanding, and that's Kelly Joel. That's the story I was just saying. Then when he did win on Union Alley, and he was blown away by her. He loved her, absolutely loved her on that occasion, and he was a great man. Technically, he owes me a Group 1. Maybe we might get some divine intervention one day. He always said he'd pay me back that one. I'm not worried about it, mate. It's the least of the worries. So, Dan Armstrong gone too soon, way too soon. Yeah, way too soon. So, very, very sad, very trying week for the entire harness racing industry. And as I said, I wasn't sure whether to do this show. I wasn't going to get people on or not get people on. I just hope that everyone out there is doing okay. And if you're not, please, again, just reach out, because it's not something I think a lot of people would respect. Great to see Fleet Commander win the overnight. I think that was one of the great stories to come out. A horse that both he and Jess love so much, saved. That's what they do at Lara J Farm. They put the horses first, and they saved him. And in his passing, he was up there and good enough to get the chockies for him. So Nellie Melba, so sad to lose. Greg, it was heartbreaking watching James Herbertson tributing a tribute to Greg in the interview in the US. He couldn't talk. And there's so many other people. I think, what James says, I don't think James was the only person that Greg took under their wing. I think he took so many people under their wing to help and become more than a fellow competitor. I think totally agree. And I feel for James over there, and I'm sure he'd be torn. He wouldn't know what to do. So drove a winner on Saturday night just gone. So congratulations to him on that. And must just be a really trying time for the young man away. Got the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'd imagine I could picture Greg just telling him, just go for it, son. So, and he'd be doing the same thing. Narelle Redwood, so sad, a great driver, trainer, and a beautiful horse. Just believe, and his beautiful horse, Just Believe. Rest in peace, mate. And I think that's so many people out there will be saying the exact same thing. So, please don't. If you are watching this show, there won't be a lot of tributes to him. I am going to keep it simple. I have a couple of things to get mentioned for a few of the people that always look after me. But please keep these messages coming in. For Yabby Farms, want to make sure people are aware of the HDT Classics payments due at the end of this month. Be aware, I was talking to Pat Driscoll today. He will not be closing those at the end of April simply because of this, what has happened, but they will be closing after there at some stage, but they are open at the minute. So please, if you want to get involved in the HDT Classic, get in touch with the guys at harasstotrotters.com.au, go to the website, or yabbydamfarms.com, and you'll be able to get in touch with them there. This computer I've had unbelievable issues trying to get started tonight. This computer doesn't do one thing. My other computer wouldn't do audio. The other one's got all the websites on it. This one doesn't. I apologise. But, yeah, the main computer hopefully will be back next week and we'll be all good to go from there. Bluestream Pictures. Bluestream is Clint. He does a lot of the greyhound pictures and photography work. Huge loss for the sport. Feel devastated for Jess and Greg's family. He, of course, would know Jess through the Meadows, but he's a horse person. Troy Harley, a great mate of mine. When I passed a message to him, he couldn't say words either. No one could say words when you're telling them. I think everyone doesn't believe it. And it's the far-reaching effects that these guys have on the industry. It just, yeah, it is amazing. So please continue to bring those comments in. The yearling sales, winter woolies will be out this week coming. I'll just lift that up a bit, one more. Doesn't want to do it now, it will be there. Get in touch with the team at nutrientstandardbred.com.au. They will open at the start of the month, start of May. Winter woolies will be open, so please get your information into there for the team from Nutrient Standardbred. As I said, Harass the Trotters. NZB, the guys at NZB will be, just give me one sec, Tammy, I'll get to yours. But NZB, the weanling sales, of course, going to be run in conjunction with the thoroughbreds, will be opened up from the end of this week as well. So those weanlings will become available. People will be aware of those as well. Pam Hayter, I suppose. So I hope I pronounced that right, Pam. Yep, a nice emoji. Very sad for a lot of people. Joe Pace, unfortunately, they believe that he might have said something. Unfortunately, Joe, when you mention the word, let's see if I can unhide this. Yep, should be out of there, so we can get Joe's out there as well. I'll go back to Tammy's in a second there as well. But yeah, when you swear or say things they think are swear words, they hide them initially, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, so the NZB will be out very, very shortly. My great friends at Brecon Farms had a magic night the other night, winning the Brecon Farms Northern Derby. They actually quineled it with Meant to Be and Higher Power. Two horses by Father Patrick, two horses that have religious names. So, but yeah, well done to Brecon Farms. They continue to breed success as well. So the team at Woodlands have had a massive week. I know Bettor's Delight. I don't know if you haven't seen the run of Marketplace, please do. Please take the time. I'll put it on my New Zealand shows. Hopefully get a New Zealand show out later this week. But yeah, you've got to take the time to watch what was just an amazing race. And Brett Coffey and I were actually speaking about it, about how we would have loved to see Marketplace take on Always Hot. And of course, Always Hot piloted by Greg. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that will happen, but it won't happen now with Greg in the sulky, that's for sure. It's so just, again, another tragic part, I suppose, to play, if you like, into this industry. So yeah, so please support all my sponsors and that. But tonight's show is not about that. As I said, it's so people can get their messages out there. We'll get to Tammy's now. Greg was a superstar as a clerk. He was one of the drivers that made you look forward to going to work. Great put that. The most beautiful soul. Always had the time for a chat. His kindness to horses as well. One of the qualities I admire. I still remember him going up to my Reggie and giving him a big cuddle and saying, "Hi, Reggie," treating him like a mate. Then on the fly, as he was off to his next drive, looks back with a big smile. "Hi, Tam. Such a humble, beautiful soul. Heartbreaking." Yep. That fits in so well with him there. I will get to all your comments that are coming through. Joe Pace. wonder if I can make this bigger. I wonder if I do that. Just give me a sec. We'll just, right, we might be able to, yeah, we can get a few more things in here. He wanted to show me how he was going to build his track after walking up the hill and walking forever. He showed what he wanted and said, okay, let's start walking down. I said to Greg, bullshit, go and get your buggy and drive me back. He had to because I couldn't walk down. So he gave me the name Papa Giuseppe. Yeah, maybe some of those coffin nails that you lug onto, Joe, you might need to give those up. But yeah, it was a brilliant track. Yeah, he was ahead of his time in that sense, and he just had some beautiful words. Heads up to HRV, magnificent tribute. I always remember a long time ago, Jeff Webb said this kid coming from South Australia is the next big thing. As an owner and a follower of the sport, I could not scroll past one of his interviews. Seemed like an amazing person. David, he was, and he'd give you the time, all the time in the world. Dixie, he was 1 in a million. Fame never changed him. Always a smile and a hello, and spot on. Yep, so well said. The strength of harness racing world lies in its sense of family. Despite fierce competition on the track, off the track, the industry rallies around its own during its times of loss. That's from Brad Steele, CEO of Harness Racing New Zealand, but I'm sure at this moment he would be more than happy just to be known as Brad Steele, harness racing lover, and yeah, he would have seen Greg in his days in Queensland. He would have seen him in New Zealand as well. Just a magical person. Sue Ellen Johnson, Greg provided our family with some very exciting times whilst driving Majida. We'll be ever thankful. Our thoughts are with Jess and the Sugars family, of course the Atworthy boys, and that's, I'm not sure if that was the video when he won on Majida that played in that tribute when their father Les, so it's one of the last things they had the grandstand shaken in at Melton, the boys did, and I think that would have been one of those nights. I'm not sure if that was a race, but I do know the night that it happened, the boys were off tap, and I know that's one of the great memories they have with their dad. So I hope it was that occasion on that night. Alicia Harrison, the type of guy that when he was in New Zealand, he went out of his way to work one of the young kids' carts, ponies in his free time, and generally seemed to love every second of driving this wee pony. Just a lovely person who meant a lot to so many and went out of his way to help so many others. Alicia, of course, works at Stonewall. Scott Purdon, champion on the track and off the track, and he was that indeed, Scotty, you're spot on. Alicia works for Stonewall, and of course Greg and Jess, their horses, or Lara J horses, always stay there, so it is far-reaching. I'm not sure if Brad's still on there. I think it was on track for the New Zealand participants, anyone that's doing it hard. It's a little bit tricky, the setup I've got. Unfortunately, I can't get other computers going up tonight, but not sure if you're still there, Brad, but if you are, you might be able to put the where people can go. But as I said, the best place to go is reach for a mate. Gavin Smith, huge scenes with Gavin winning yesterday. Gavin, a great mate of his. I've got my Woodlands hat on. I know Stacey and David will be gutted as well. It is on track, so thank you very much, Brad. So get in touch with on track. I would imagine the same thing. Get in touch with the team at Harness Racing New Zealand, and you'll be able to get any help you need, understanding what is going on. At Mickey Fallu, Greg drove a scooter will rev for the Bernie boys in Melbourne. We're all in shock. He's a great person. He was indeed, Mickey. Yeah, he was a ripper, and that's the thing. He touched so many people everywhere. I'm sure a lot of people in Scandinavia will be just blown away by what has happened. It just doesn't seem real, and it's very, very hard to fathom that he is no longer with us, and very hard, I think, for the entire racing community to get their head around. Harness racing will continue. It will continue. It will grow. People out there will continue to make sure that it gets better and bigger and better, but it's going to be a lot tougher without this man there. He was unbelievable. You can see all the kind words that people say about him. His smile, the way that he changed the industry, the way he changed people that looked at the industry. He had one of the best horses in the world, and he'd still stop and give people their time. Just amazing the reach that he had, and the sort of person and the amount of people that he affected. Unfortunately now in a sad way, but previous to this in such a great way. And yeah, I hope he realises, I hope he knew what he was doing for this sport and what he was doing for so many people. Alexandra Hurley, she just can't believe it. She, of course, is South Australian. There's so many South Australians here in Victoria. I just gave a mouthful of water, sorry. There are so many South Australians over here, so much part of our fabric, if you like, of harness racing here in Victoria. And Alex Hurley and so many others. I saw I think it was John Rofe Videos put a tribute up today at Globe Derby as well. But I just can't believe it. I'm still in shock. My heart goes out to Ross, Kerry, Kylie, and of course Jess. With horses like mine, I don't expect the best drivers to want to get in. But when Greg was available, he was happy to. And I think his record was 13 drives, 4 wins, 5 placings. Shows just how good he was. It's a phenomenal record on some less than phenomenal horses. What I'll remember the most, though, is the quiet conversations we had, talking about how he was going, the trips away, the horses, the industry in general. He had so much still to do in life. I'm so sorry he won't get to do it. Maybe we need to remember that, though, girls, and we need to drive and pick up where Greg left off. There'll be some people out there won't know what to do, won't know how to do it. Maybe we just got to think a little bit like the great man would have and would want us to now. I think the Fitzpatrick family to present that horse at the races and be able to win with him, present all 3 of those horses. It's not ego. It's not want to win a race. It's got nothing to do with that. They were honouring Greg, and I think it was just absolutely sensational to see that horse cross the line first. And Gavin's Salute won't go down as one of the biggest and the brightest. It's the best, though, because it meant a lot to a mate. So, yeah. Jamie Egan, another of the greyhound guys, absolutely gutted. The world has lost a champion bloke, taken far too soon. Rachel Pace, Fino, she would know Greg. She'd have seen him so many times at Melton. We're going to miss you walking into the tea room at Melton. Ask Mary if it's not much trouble. Can I have my Vegemite toasty? No, now, always with a smile. Chat and thank you. Condolences to Jess and all the Sugars family. I think that's the most, the one part about it. So sad. Trained and drove multiple times. This is Tim Garrett, for us, with many winners. He helped us looking after some of the horses that Dusty Dunsmuir was taken too soon. Some of our horses after Dusty Dunsmuir, Great bloke, even for a Crow supporter. Of course he does. When I saw that, I wasn't sure who he barracked for, but the way Kylie's so passionate, he'd have to be a Crow supporter. Jeff Dixon, thoroughbred man. I believe Greg would surpass all driving records. Was a super driver for both trotters and pacers, a la Gavin Lang. Condolences to all the families. Rest in peace, champ. Very well said, Jeff. It didn't matter what you put him on. 2-year-old to fast class horse. He's stable. If you look at the horses that he's been able to progress through, nurture, look after, and always put first. You've got to remember, Just Believe never broke down. Just Believe could have kept racing. They could have kept him racing. They chose not to. They chose to look after the horse because they didn't want anything bad to happen to him. There was no ego involved. They could win 3 Miracle Miles. Definitely a Crow. Sorry, Alex. I've just never... There's one thing you never heard from him, actually. You never heard a lot of AFL. Well, maybe you did. He never said it to me. As a Carlton man, we don't talk much about football these days anyway. But... yeah, he could drive any horse. He'd get horses through and through and through and continue to have them come through. It's interesting, like what Alex said there before. The other great part about Greg and Jess, they've got a couple of their horses of their own. They could have moved on 100 times. They love them. They breed them to race. They breed them to be a part of their life, and they continue them to be that way. It's a very sad day for harness racing, very sad day. for the world to lose a young man so young, but a great man for our industry. I don't have a lot more. I can talk a lot for a lot of reasons. I don't want to. I will continue to grow this, promote this sport. I'll continue to try to do my best. It's going to be a lot tougher though without blokes like him. They're prepared to do whatever it is, step up, help, just look after me, guide me, tell me, give you exclusives, whether I want to run with them or not, it doesn't matter. Always there for the industry, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing where he is going to be lost. Barry Lowe lost a great man. I believe the loss is equal to when we lost the great VJ. Both legends. I do remember the day when Vinny passed away, Barry, and yeah, it was an amazing day in all the wrong reasons too. I shouldn't say amazing, but yeah, this one's really kicking home as well. So we don't need these guys not in our sport. We need these guys to promote it. We've got a great sport. Gets trying sometimes. I know there's a lot of people out there doing it hard. Prize money's down here in Victoria. We're in the middle of a drought. We got a bit of rain the other day. Things are starting to turn, and then this happens. We've just got to keep our chins up and keep going. Keep trying to put the right foot forward, put the product out there. And just remember, when you're doing it, we're doing it in honour of a great man as well. He wouldn't want it any other way. He wouldn't want the sport to fold. He would want it to get bigger and better. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in tonight. I appreciate people tuning in. I didn't do this for clickbait or anything. It's just I wanted to honour a friend. There was some business I have to get in there. I didn't have to. Those people never put it to me, but I do. I think we need to continue going forward. I would dearly like to pass my condolences on to Ross and Kerry, his mum and dad, Kylie, his sister, Jess, his wife, Jess's family, Kate. I'm sure they are doing it extremely tough. It's going to be a big week in harness racing. As I said, there's plenty planned, I believe, in the background. So stay tuned to Harness Racing Victoria's socials. I'll share them out when they come out as well. I'm going to close. I'm going to pay that tribute again, and I am going to close the show afterwards. I thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's show. But please, if you come in late after this, you watch this in replay, put your comments in there. Just, we might do a tribute show to him. I might get some people. I might not. I don't know the right way to celebrate a man's life that's gone too soon. But thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. On Loose Lines, we'll be back next week. Harness racing will continue. They'll be racing today, tomorrow, and through. But it's going to be a much sadder place without this great man as part of it.
So Just Believe dives and got him. Greg Sugars has done it again. Just Believe, the favourite hit the front. Just Believe, he's going to win another big one. Just Believe and Greg Sugars are both. The outside, it's Beaujolais. Magida put her head in front, and she's going to do what she always does. She wins. She's a winner. Magida does it again. What a top filly. Better Eclipse out after Bondi lockdown, 75 to go. Better Eclipse moves up, puts the head in front, starts to come away, and the